This is Ray Balzer with AimPro Billiards. In this video series, we overview many methods to figure out the cut angle of a shot. This is optional, but fulfills the promise of the AimRight method. You can learn a limited number of cut angles and then be successful in games using just those pre-learned aims. It makes aiming simple. The skill then becomes determining the cut angle. First, more on why, and then how. When you start thinking in terms of the cut angle of a shot, it opens up many options. You can now talk to others about a shot or a sequence of shots by including the cut angles. When coaching another player, for example in an APA match, you can tell them what cut angle to aim for. This would be much more valuable than the typical advice. When you know the cut angle, you can more precisely predict the travel of the cue ball after the shot, and there's more. A related benefit of shooting a determined cut angle is that you don't need visual references like a rail or the pocket. That is, the method is not dependent on seeing the pocket or an adjacent rail in order to aim and shoot accurately. So back cuts become just as easy as any other shot. Before talking about some other shots, let's discuss aiming more generally. Many of us started aiming using some system, ghost ball and contact point being most common. But then we evolved away from systems and learned to aim all pull shots automatically by memory, how full or thin to hit the object ball so it goes into the pocket. This is the shoot a million balls aiming theory. But that doesn't help at all for shots not aimed at a pocket, such as combination shots, banks, or safeties. With the AimRight system, your memory is for angles, and that applies to all shots. Let's just consider combination shots. The target is a part of another ball that can be anywhere on the table. As with any other shot, just estimate or figure the angle needed and shoot it. One aiming system for all shots. With dedicated practice and time, you will recognize the angles on more shots intuitively. As the weeks, months, and years go by, your knowledge of the cut angle of shots will grow. Shots whose angle you are unsure of will take measurement technique. Some techniques are better suited to certain table positions, like where reach is an issue. You'll see examples. Your memory will grow in two ways. The first way is a transition as you get started. You'll remember the angle for specific shots, either ones you have practiced using the AimRight or shots and angles you just remember from previous games. To learn these, tell yourself the AimRight angle prior to shooting and remember the results. If you pay attention to whether you hit where you aimed, even misses can help you learn. The second way your memory will grow is more powerful because it is more general. It's your goal. It will help on all shot locations. You will learn what each cut angle looks like and be able to recognize it wherever the balls are located. You should work to practice seeing, if not also shooting, the various cut angles in different table positions. Note that to save time and emphasize learning the angles, you could just look at the angles and not shoot them. This is a unique practice technique. But once you are consistent in your shot mechanics and know how to shoot the AimRight angles, that's all that's left for making shots is knowing the angle. So practice knowing the angle. When looking, you must do it correctly. More on that later. First note, it's better to determine the cut angle while doing your standing pre-shot routine. It permits you to move around, including seeing from multiple directions and heights and putting your vision center on the cue ball line, because it might not be there when shooting, depending on the cut angle, aiming method, and whether you're using side spin, because for side spin, you might alter eye alignment. If you learn angles by using the AimRight, the geometry will be correct and you just observe. Without the AimRight, you have to do the geometry correctly, and that's much more difficult. Observe the shot and then notice that the cut angle is formed using the ghost ball center as the angle's vertex and not the object ball center. So using ball centers, the cut angle is accurately figured using the cue ball to ghost ball line and the ghost ball to pocket line. When the cue ball's far away, the error is small and you might get away with it, but for medium and close shots, they'll have large errors if done incorrectly. Alternatively, you can use the contact point line between the cue ball and object ball, and then the line from the contact point to pocket. In either case, it's important to align your vision center to the cue ball line. Sometimes I shoot using an eyes centered position, but for accurate angle sighting, I must align my dominant eye. Determine where your head and eyes must align for accurate results. When first learning a new way to judge angles, it will be best to confirm your result. First, estimate the cut angle. Here, I'm correctly aligning the cue ball center to the ghost ball center. Then position and align the AimRight and use your cue stick to see the actual angle. If it matches, great, you're learning. Now shoot it. Use good form and verify stance, vision, and stroke both by feel and visually. Try to confirm you hit where you aimed. If you miss, try to identify the shooting flaw so you can work to correct it. Now, what if your initial estimate is significantly off? Determine why. This is how you'll quickly learn. I incorrectly used the object ball center as the angle vertex instead of the ghost ball center. That gave me 26 degrees, which is a bit less than the actual. Another incorrect method is to aim the cue ball center at the object ball contact point, which is short at about 28 degrees. The right way to estimate using the object ball contact point is to align it with the symmetrical cue ball contact point. That is 30 degrees. Once you've gained some skill, estimate the angle, then just shoot it. When shooting, as always, pay attention to mechanics and try to confirm the cue ball went where you aimed. This information is very helpful. If it all seems right and you make the shot, you've validated everything. If you missed, and you know your mechanics seemed off, and the cue ball didn't go where you aimed, work on that. If it went where you aimed, or aren't sure, then get out your AimRight and check the angle. Figure out where your estimate went wrong. If the angle is confirmed, it really was a shooting error after all. Learn to pay more attention to the sights, sounds, and feel of shooting. Okay, let's recap. We've covered using your judgment, supported by your memory, to estimate cut angles. Two forms of memory: the transition phase of specific practice shots or shots from prior games, and ultimately, and more powerfully, recognizing angles. Then actually practice knowing the angle. Determine the angle while standing, and you can have multiple views that way. Use the cue ball to ghost ball line or the contact point line versus the pocket line, and learn the right way to use your eyes for angle sighting. Follow a good learning process. At first, verify your estimated angle immediately with the AimRight. With skill, estimate, then shoot. If you miss, figure out what happened. If you pay close attention to all the details, you'll figure things out faster and know where to focus your practice for best results. So why is it we want to do this? We've seen the multiple benefits of knowing and shooting just the AimRight angles, including better coaching in league play, the ability to simplify shooting, and then be precise about cue ball position, and the ability to shoot back cuts accurately. And it's an aiming method that works for all shots, including combination shots, banks, and safeties. And instead of the million ball theory of evolving away from some aiming system to an overwhelming job of memorizing all shots, you have the lifelong and constant improvement you can expect from the thorough learning of just 16 cut angles. In this first part, we focused on our ultimate goal, identifying cut angles intuitively. I've covered the key concepts here, but done it pretty quickly. Most people should watch this video series several times. Look for Part 2, which covers many angle measurement techniques, which can help you figure the angle when you can't yet judge it. But don't wait, start practicing now. Set up practice shots and look at each angle. Memorize and recognize table positions and angles. Then in games, estimate the angle and shoot the closest AimRight angle. If you miss, go back later and figure it out. Once you can accurately judge angles and shoot them consistently, your game will soar. Thanks for watching.